Alright guys, it's been a while since I posted, so I thought I'd ease myself in with something quite easy but quite fun to do. I get asked quite a bit about how to do like classic TB303 bass lines and also psytrance bass lines. I don't really listen to psytrance myself. I don't mind it, but it's just not really my thing. But I thought I'd post a quick video so any of you guys who want to make some classic acid house or any psytrance or anything like that, here's some ideas on how I go about doing that. First off, the synth sounds really simple. That's why this is such an easy video to make. All it is, it's a single saw wave. By the way, I'm using the ES2. You can use the ESM monophonic synth, which is Logic's kind of emulation of the 303, but I actually prefer the sound of the ES2 myself. It's got a kind of slightly cleaner, more defined sound, but if you want something a bit scuzzier, try the ESM out. So it's a single saw wave, a bit of cutoff. I'm using the 18 dB per octave option and a fair amount of resonance. And there's only one modulation, which is just modulating that cutoff upwards with no attack, and an envelope with no attack and about 170 of decay. But later on we're going to be modulating all these parameters to make our bassline nice and squelchy and give it lots of movement. The other important aspect of this is that I've put legato mode on and I'm using a bit of glide. What that means is that where notes are separate, they'll trigger as normal, but when they overlap, they will bend into one another, and that's really important for the kind of classic 303 sound. There was an option where you could slide notes into one another, and it gives it this really kind of liquid, elastic, acid house feel, basically. So that's our synth sound, simple as can be. More important with these sounds are the notes you program in. So I've started off with a beat that's about 127, obviously it could be anywhere. And I've programmed in 16th notes, and I've programmed them all in on the note D sharp. The reason I've done that is that if you use D sharp as the root note of the scale you're using, then you can play all the black notes and that will form a minor pentatonic scale, which is a really common scale in dance music, rock music. You know, it's one of the most common scales out there. I'm not saying do this all the time, because obviously there's a huge world of different feels you can get from using different scales, but if you just want to punch something in quickly that sounds good, this is a good way to do it. So make D sharp your root, and then you can just play all black notes. So at the moment this is what it sounds like. So you know, you can already hear the kind of psytrance style from that, but I'm going to turn this into more of a 303 style bass line. So I'm going to start moving these notes around. Now notice where I overlap these notes, we're going to get a nice bend. So okay, let's put in a few other changes. Okay, it's a very simple pattern, but we'll go with it for now. Obviously you can play with this for a while and make sure it is up to your standards. So the next thing that's important for this sound is that we get movement in it. If you were using a real hardware 303, obviously you'd be tweaking knobs all the time and changing the sound, and you get a really dynamic feel. So to get the same sort of feel, I'm going to use an automation technique, but instead of drawing it in by hand, I'm going to get a bit more hands-on, a bit more knob twiddly, and I'm going to use the latch mode. What this does is, if I play the track with latch mode on, anytime I start moving parameters of the ES2 while it's playing, those movements will get recorded as automation. So it'll be much more, I mean, obviously, even though I'm using a screen, it'll be much more like a tactile kind of thing. So I'm going to play this section, and I'm going to move a parameter about, and hopefully that'll get recorded as automation. So let's check out our automation. There we go. Filter cutoff, it's been recorded. Now I could go back through and do that for some other parameters as well, because obviously I've only got one mouse, but if I had hands I would probably be twiddling a few knobs at a time. So I could do the resonance too. Let's do that. Okay, that's not bad. And finally, I'm going to show you one other way to do automation. If you've got a MIDI controller, what you can do is, if you, what should we automate? Let's see. Let's do I'm not sure whether it will work with this intensity here, but I'm going to try it. So what you do is you wiggle a value, you hit Apple L, and now if you've got a MIDI controller, as I have, which I've got a keyboard which has some knobs at the top. Now I twiddle one of the knobs, and with any luck, yeah. So now by twiddling that MIDI knob, I can actually control parameters of the synth. This is really, really useful way to get a much more kind of tactile feel to your synths, and it can be so much more fun kind of performing in automation instead of just drawing it in with the mouse. And of course, if you've got multiple knobs, you could assign multiple parameters. So if I will do the drive parameter, and I'll choose a different knob. Okay. So now with these two knobs, I can control both the drive and the intensity of this modulation. So with latch mode still on, I'll play the track and I'll wobble them about a bit. So now I'll change latch mode to read, and with any luck, all of my automation that I just recorded in with those knobs, as well as the stuff I did with the mouse earlier, it's all there. So now we have a kind of fully automated, performed 303 bass line.